my channel and welcome to another video. Today I'm doing a one-day vlog, a kind of day in my life vlog as it were, because I have some stuff that I wanted to update you on and I'm not in the middle of a weekly vlog right now, so I thought that maybe a day in the life vlog would be something a little bit different. So it is currently Sunday the 16th of April at 10:30 and I've had a relatively slow start to the morning. I got up, I probably woke up but lay in bed for a while, which I haven't done for a while. I like lay in bed trying to go back to sleep, which I don't really like doing, and I didn't ultimately. So I probably got out of bed at like 8:40, went downstairs, had some breakfast, watched some Steph Loves on YouTube, and then I have a list of things that I would like to get done today. Whether I will achieve them all is questionable. Last night when I went to bed I felt really like proactive and like I wanted to get a lot of things done, but it was like 11, so I forced myself to go to bed. But I have woken up today feeling not so energetic, so we'll see how much I get done. But the sort of big things I would like to do today is I actually really need to chill. I had a big day yesterday, which we'll talk about in a second, but today I really need to chill. I really need to force myself to do it, because at the moment my anxiety and my perfectionism are kind of spiraling into one, and it means that I spend a lot of time agonizing over decisions, about hyper focusing on certain tasks, and I haven't rested properly in a while, so I really need some downtime today. But there are a few things that I want to get done before then, so I'm going to try and get those done before lunch, and then maybe try and just draw a line under it and try and relax after lunch, in which case I'm hoping that I'll just have a ton of reading updates for you, and that can be a really nice thing for this video. But so the main thing I need to do is some laundry, so let me show you what we're working with today. Admittedly, it's not the worst it's ever been, but there is, you know, a fair amount there which needs putting away. And you're very precariously balanced in my wardrobe right now, which is just like a IKEA structure. And then this bed is still out from when my mum stayed here several weeks ago when we went to the wedding show, so I really want to put that away, but I can't do that until the clothes are away. So that is the big task. And then we need to hoover, but Stuart's going to do that. He also put some washing on already, which is great. And then in an ideal world I should do a general tidy up, but we may or may not get to that. Also, just thought I'd show you, this is a new top that I got from Morrison's. It was in the sale, it was £7. I bought it several sizes, 3 sizes bigger than I actually wear, because I really wanted it to be long, and I like it much more in real life than I do on camera. Like on camera it's really obvious it's too big for me, but in real life it means it like hangs over my bum, and it's super soft material. I just really like it. It feels super cozy, but I'm not sure it looks totally great on camera, but it's fine. And my hair actually looks cute today because I did it yesterday, which, let's talk about it. So if you don't know, I am getting married next year, and we've done a lot of the big things related to the wedding. Anything that's kind of, you know, photographer, cake, all that kind of stuff, that's all done, because I'm that type of hyper organised person. But the big thing that is next on the list is wedding dress shopping, because you need to do wedding dress shopping quite a long time in advance of getting married in most cases. We wanted to start early, and that's what we did yesterday. And I wanted to talk about it because as someone with severe anxiety, wedding dress shopping was the big thing that I had issues over. I maybe should have done a bit more research into it. It's kind of worked out okay, but I think I wish that, you know, I could have seen somebody with anxiety like mine talk about it. So I thought I would, to just kind of help you if you are somebody who happens to watch this, either is intrigued but also, you know, is worried about how you're going to cope with it with severe anxieties. As always, before I get into it, with any of my wedding stuff, like, if you need to mute me for a bit, if you need to not hear about it, if you just want to skip this, but I totally understand if you need to take a break from me. I've had to do that in the past. I've taken breaks from people who are talking about, you know, weddings, relationships, kids quite often. I've had to take breaks from people with content, and ultimately I've been able to come back to them. Now I'm in this next phase of my life, but I totally understand that you might need to, so no hard feelings here if you need to do that. So basically with wedding dress shopping, the reason that you usually do it a year out, you want to go to a sort of more like boutique or a sort of traditional wedding dress shop. The way that it works is they'll try samples on you to see what one is going to be a good fit for you, and then it will be kind of like bespoke made for you, and you're going to have to go to like multiple fittings at the store. It's the traditional way that a wedding dress works, and so you need about 9 months for that whole process to take place. If you watched my vlog from a couple of weeks ago, me, Emma and my mum went to the wedding show at the XL, and that was really well timed for us because we wanted to sort of go there to get a feeling of what wedding dresses would look like and be like, and look at different materials and stuff like that. There was a store who had a stand, and if you booked an appointment with them, and then you buy a dress during the appointment, you would get 20% off. And I was like, cool, well, you know, they're really well located, this store, for sort of where me, my mum and Emma live. So I was like, great, well, you know, we definitely book an appointment with them, and it's free to book an appointment. And then the more I sort of researched into that, basically what happens is, you, at this particular store, and obviously I really haven't been to a lot of places, at this particular store you only get an hour with the store. And I was really worried about, you know, I've never tried a wedding dress on. My prom dress was a short kind of cocktail dress. I've never worn a big dress, so I had no idea what, you know, it would be like to wear one of these dresses and how much time I would need to try them on. So I was like, okay, we need to go somewhere else before that appointment, because there was a dress on a stand there that I really liked, and I was like, that's probably the dress that I'm, you know, hoping I'm gonna like. So let's make sure that we go somewhere else and look at dresses first to get a feeling for what I wouldn't like. And my hairdresser told me about a wedding dress outlet, I guess, called Wed2be, which basically have sort of dress samples from like the previous season at a hugely discounted rate. So the way that it was kind of worded on the website was, you could try on as many dresses as you wanted, and there was no time pressure, no appointment. So sort of what seemed a more casual experience. And I was like, okay, well, for our first dress shopping, let's go there. And I'll be honest, it wasn't our intention to buy a dress. We very much were going to just sort of try some dresses on, see what we thought. So my mum came, Emma came, and then Anna from Planner Face came. We were just going to look at some dresses for a couple of hours, go for some lunch, chill. The Wed2be factories are all over the country. They have multiple. So we went to the one in Milton Keynes because it's well located for like between all of us. It's not near any of us, but not far from any of us. There are multiple. So if you do want to go to one, there are loads. So it opened at 10 and we got there at 10:20, me and Anna. And so we went straight in because I was like, Emma was running a little bit late, but I was like, it's cool. Like, we'll just go in, we'll just, you know, get the lay of the land, get ourselves booked in. And we got seen basically straight away. And they signed us in and took some details. And then we got taken through to the wedding dress area. And they basically have, I mean, obviously I haven't been anywhere else, but they have loads of dresses on racks by size and by type. So they were like, okay, have you had a think about sort of the type of dress that you want? And because I'd been to the wedding dress show, I knew kind of the type of dress that I would like. So I kind of said that, and then she told me that wedding dresses, you buy them in the size bigger than you are because of the type of material. So that's something I didn't know. And that is probably good I didn't know that information in advance, but I'm really glad I went to Wed2be because if you don't know, I'm a size 18. And so I'm having to try on dresses in a 20. And the wedding dress industry is a little bit biased towards slimmer brides than me. So I'm really glad actually they had what I would deem a decent range of dresses in that size. So the sort of girl that checked us in was not my fitter, it was just kind of the receptionist. But she said, okay, you can pick 4 dresses, but you can pick as many as you want. This is just your initial 4. You can try on as many dresses as you like. And this was where I wish I had been a little bit more selective. So I was quite flippant, and I did know the kind of dress I wanted. You know, I have a Pinterest board and I knew the type of dress that I wanted. I could flick through dresses I knew I wouldn't like and dresses I would like. And because we'd been at the wedding dress show, there were certain things that I knew I would like on a dress and certain things I wouldn't like on a dress. But because I'd never tried dresses on, I was hoping to try on a range of dresses to see whether what I think in my head looks good on me actually does. So I was like semi-flippant about the 4 that I chose, and 2 of them were dresses, well, I would say 3 to be honest, were dresses that I thought I would like and had features that I liked in dresses, but one of them was a real wildcard choice. I did my 4 and I got taken straight through because there wasn't a queue, so I got taken straight through to meet with my fitter. And I cannot really fault my fitter. She was excellent. She was super lovely. She was really knowledgeable. She was very calm with my anxiety. I felt like we really became friends. You know, like when I bought my dress, she hugged me. Like, you know, she was just super lovely, and I couldn't really have asked for better than her. Overall, I think there's a lot of real positives to the experience because it took me 2 hours to try those 4 dresses on. And so, you know, the other place I would have been going to, I wouldn't have had that luxury. So I'm incredibly grateful. Natasha was so patient. I never felt rushed. And at the other place, the fitters see 2 people at the same time. So my friend Emma has been to a fitting at this other place, and she said that they do kind of you know, the bridesmaids or whoever's there with you looking at dresses do a lot of your like dress fluffing and sort of checking another review. I never had that. Natasha was with me the entire time. And you know, they are based on commission, so that's like something for you to bear in mind. But I mean, I'm sure all wedding dress, you know, regardless of where they are based on commission. So, you know, she, I guess, is more invested in me in that respect. But, you know, I had her undivided attention for 2 hours. The only downside was that, so dress number 3 is the dress that I bought, and it is beautiful. There's kind of no two ways about it. Well, I'm not going to tell you the ins and outs of the dress. You can see it when I get married. But I then tried on dress number 4, which was the wildcard dress, and instantly knew it wasn't the right dress for me. And I think that kind of made me be like, oh, well, you know, should I be trying on more dresses? Like, am I really going to walk away here having only tried on 4 dresses and picking one of them? And I asked whether I could try on more dresses, because obviously that's how the website made it seem, and it's how, like, you know, the receptionist had made it seem that I could try on more dresses. Then Natasha was like, oh, if you try on more, you have to go to the back of the queue and you may not get me. And the queue, so Emma got there about 10:45, and when we left, so I took off, so I got put back in the dress I bought after I tried on dress number 4 to make sure we were happy. And then when we walked out, Emma said there were people waiting there who had arrived when she arrived. So we were so lucky in that we got seen so quickly. We didn't wait at all. And bearing in mind I left at, well, I kind of took the last dress off at about 12:30. If we had still been waiting at 12:30 and still hadn't been seen, I mean, I would have been so hangry. Like, I really get hangry. I would have been so hangry, and it would have just been nowhere near as enjoyable. My mum was saying she thinks she would have just left. Like, she just couldn't have waited that long. So, you know, we were really lucky in that sense. But there is, as someone with anxiety, there is a real part of me that is really struggling with the fact that I didn't try on more dresses. And I don't think I've really spoken about this on this channel yet, because I wasn't vlogging around this time. But back when we picked our venue, we looked at 8 venues, which is a lot. Most people I know are like, yeah, we looked at 2 and we just picked 1. And I was like, I didn't really realise people could make a decision about 2 venues. We looked at 8. We did one weekend where we did like 4 in a weekend. The venue we've picked is lovely, right? Everyone loves it. It's not perfect in that, you know, there's some elements of, particularly related to like accommodation, which are not as ideal as some other venues, but overall it's a beautiful venue, right? And I have had multiple breakdowns about the fact that I'm really worried about the venue that we've chosen, and that people won't love it, and that we're putting people out, and it's really difficult when you have anxiety like this over something as big as a wedding, something that, you know, I don't have a lot of friends that have gone through it. You have to make so many decisions about spending so much money. It feels really big. There is a little bit unfortunate, because I have felt that way about the dress, which I probably should have anticipated. I am eternally grateful to my mum and Anna and Emma for being so patient with me, and they, you know, they love the dress. It was the collective favourite, the dress I have chosen, and it is the one that, of the 4, oh, it absolutely was the best choice of the 4 I tried on. It's just, there is that inner voice that's like, should you have tried on more? But like, Stuart obviously doesn't know about the dress, he's not seen it, but he's the person that most understands the anxiety that I have, because he lives with it day to day. And obviously he's been there when I've got upset about our venue, and he was like, it wouldn't have mattered how many you tried on, like, you would have always felt this way. And, you know, my mum's been like really helpful as well, and kind of saying like, wedding dresses are all nice, like there's always going to be a nice wedding dress. I just have one of the nice wedding dresses. And it is really true. One of the things with Wed to Be is that it is an outlet. So dresses there are cheaper than a normal dress. So if you go to sort of one of these like boutique salons, wedding dresses, you're probably looking at somewhere I would expect between 1 to 4k maybe. And I'm paying for most of my wedding, but my parents are paying for my dress. And, you know, I felt really weird about getting a really expensive dress, because even though I kind of knew that would probably be my taste in dress, because I'm that kind of person, I had a lot of like really weird feelings about this dress you wear for one day being super expensive. Like, it just, I don't know, I had just felt really weird about it. And I'm not, I should say at this point, like, this is absolutely no judgment on anything anybody else has done for their wedding. I really want to make that clear. Like, the dress I have gone for is a statement dress. And, you know, my mum and Anna and Emma all like, you get one day, like, go all out. And that is absolutely true. But there are so many elements of your wedding you can go all out with, and it adds up very quickly. Weddings are very expensive. And there are other things which I would rather overall spend budget on to make the whole day more comfortable for all of our guests. And that's another problem about my sort of thoughts on making the day about everyone else and not about me and Stuart. But there are other things I would rather spend a lot of our money on. So particularly if this had been something we were spending on, I wouldn't have wanted to spend a ton of money on the dress. I only wear it for one day. So, but we, you know, my mum had been very much like, you know, don't pick a dress there just because of the price, you know. And we honestly, we didn't know the price of the dress, but like before I said yes. But everyone was like, no, like, this is the dress. I said yes to the dress. And then my mum was like, oh, but can I check the price? I think because at this venue they have white hangers and they have normal hangers, and the white hangers are the premium dresses. So 3 of the dresses I picked were premium dresses. As I say, that's me, I'm that kind of person. So 3 of the dresses were premium dresses. Mum saw the tag and it's so much cheaper than what a normal dress would be, and this dress looks so much more than it actually costs. And my mum was like, 100%, you can have it. They're not going to do the tailoring for you, so I now have my dress. It's literally there in this room, and so I have to store it here for a year, which is kind of not ideal. But I now have to sort out my own tailoring, so that is a slight downside. But part of me is actually kind of okay with that, because, you know, we're in a cost of living crisis, and I have been a bit worried about whether, you know, some wedding dress shops would like survive. At least this way I have my dress, it's already there, and all I have to do is find a seamstress who will work on it. So it necessarily needs like a ton of work doing to it. There's sort of a few things, but I expect nothing that's too out of ordinary for a wedding dress seamstress. So I've been talking about that for a long time, but, you know, hopefully you just skipped it if you weren't interested. And I'm sorry that there's no like footage and I can't show you a picture of the dress, but, you know, you'll see it next year. But I just wanted to kind of speak about it because I just wish I'd known more about this stuff. There is just so much to wedding stuff. And it's also to kind of, you know, just to make you feel a bit less alone if you are somebody who's ever felt this way. And it is really sad. Like I got home yesterday and I just sobbed because I was like, what if I've made a bad decision? There's no way I've made a bad decision. Like, I've seen the pictures, but it's that inner critical voice that's like, you know, oh, people are going to think that it's too over the top, or it's not enough, or you should have gone for something different. I'm hoping that I can get over some of that. The plus I do have is that I have the dress here, so I can keep looking at it. I can keep checking that I like it. No, I have the dress now. That's like another massive thing ticked off the list. And I think what I'm going to do now, well, I'm trying to force myself to do it, is delete all other pictures I have saved of any other dress, and including this, like the dress at the shop I wanted to see. I need to cancel my appointment there, and I just need to try and accept it. It's very difficult because all of my Instagram advertising, all of my reels, everything is wedding related now, because particularly as a lot of that stuff, you know, so much wedding dress stuff out there is for people with a different size body to mine, and so I need to like recognize that what's going to look good on one body is not necessarily going to look good on mine. Really overthinking or wishing I could have a different dress, it's not going to happen, and the dress I have is lovely, and I need to try and accept that. So yeah, overall, if you wanted my recommendation of whether or not you should go, I do actually completely recommend it. I think there were real pluses to going there over going somewhere where I would have been restricted for an hour. The fact that I had my fitter's undivided attention for such a long time made such a difference to me. I built up such a rapport with her, and I'm really grateful to have had that kind of experience. She was just so good at managing my anxiety. Obviously, it is going to depend on your fitter. Like, I can't promise that you're going to have the experience that I had, but I think they don't restrict you on time there. And actually, getting in and out of dresses is really long. I don't know how, like, I could have only managed 2 dresses in an hour, I think, or I guess that the other place would have moved me a lot quicker through the dresses, because I assume 3 to 4 is pretty standard. I would have found that really difficult to have had to have moved quicker than I did. So from that respect, I couldn't recommend it enough. It doesn't remotely feel like a factory. It really just feels like a normal wedding dress place. It's like, you know, they have really cute, like big fitting room. Would just say, if you go somewhere like that, go early and make sure that you are very selective about the 4 dresses you pick. I reckon if you went on a weekday, it would be way easier to try on more dresses, but obviously most people are going to go on a weekend in terms of like their bridal party taking time off work and stuff. So like if it had just been me and my mum, we could have kind of gone whenever, but I didn't, you know, want to have to ask people to take time off work. So I think, you know, just be organised, know what you want before you go in. Don't necessarily use it like I did as a chance to just try on a load of dresses. But, you know, be open. You might find the dress you really want there, and it probably will cost you a lot less than the equivalent dress would have cost you if you were buying a shop. My mum thought my dress was going to cost £4,000. So it looks like it should have cost that much, which is kind of amazing. You really don't need to go somewhere like that a year out. So if you are somebody who's planning your wedding in a much shorter timeline, I think somewhere like that is ideal, because you can take your dress home with you that day. And ultimately, if you are shopping a year out, like my dress is now going to be here for a whole year. The people behind me were getting married next April, so, well, like the lady behind me was getting married next April, so she also has to store her dress for a whole year. But I kind of like that it's here. It's like a thing I don't need to worry about. I know the dress exists, and ultimately, if I had to walk down the aisle in it as it is now, whilst there are a couple of amends, it would be okay. So, you know, that is kind of a nice feeling. As someone with anxiety, it's a nice feeling to know that my dress is here and it's with me and I'm looking after it. Obviously, you know, it is now relying on a seamstress, and so I do have an extra element of admin now in terms of finding a seamstress, figuring out the timeline for that. My fitter at Wed to Be said that she thinks that about a month before, because it's like the closest to the actual size you will be. I'm probably going to contact them well before that, because I would much rather get booked in. I don't want to find that they don't have enough time. I think overall, the fact that I've got a beautiful dress for a less price, I had a lovely experience, I wasn't rushed. You know, I have some reservations about the fact that I didn't get to try more dresses, but I wouldn't have got to somewhere else. I don't think it's quite at a weekend, probably. It probably is in the week, but at a weekend, the fact that I sort of wasn't able to go back and try on more is a little bit of a shame. But, you know, as I think like my mum and Anna were all like, you found the dress, like there's no need for you to go back. Sometimes you have to sort of listen to other people who know you and know that, you know, as I say, Stuart says he thinks I would have thought this no matter how many dresses I tried on. And also my other friend at work, I've spoken to her about it, and she was saying like, don't chase that, like that feeling, that like wow moment that's kind of built up for, you know, like films and TV shows and stuff, and you may not have a feeling like that because not everybody has that type of personality. And as someone with anxiety, I don't have it in me to get really like, and I don't think I would be set on a decision straight away. So I think it's also my message to you of like, don't worry if you don't have that. You can still have a totally beautiful dress, even if you don't have that instant like, this is the dress I'm gonna buy, if you have a personality similar to mine. I keep remembering things I want to say. Maybe I should have written notes. But the other thing is that being a factory outlet, there are only a certain number of dresses available. There's probably often only sort of one dress in one size because they're X samples. So it was very much the case that if I hadn't have bought that dress that collectively everybody loved, it probably wouldn't have been there because it had literally only come in that morning. And you know, this is a dress people are gonna want. So it was also really cool because it meant nobody else had worn the dress, like, you know, since it had come into Wed to Be. So that's pretty cool. There is, I suppose, maybe a little bit of pressure on you to buy in that respect because the dress could go. Or, you know, for someone, I would have maybe have liked to have like gone away, thought about it, but if you come back in 2 weeks time, even the next day, the dress could easily not be there. When you're going there, stuff is basically kind of what you're faced with on the day, so that will also kind of impact, you know, whether or not you find a dress there you like, because the sort of range of dresses may not be as big as some other places. But maybe, I mean, I had a look at a sort of smaller boutique dress shop that specializes in curvy brides kind of in my area, and they had a lot less variety of dresses on their website that I would be available to pick. So I think it very much depends on the kind of place that you go to. So just something else to be aware of as part of the experience. The other thing I just wanted to let you know is, like, as a curvy person, wedding dress shopping is quite difficult because in wedding dress samples, the cup size is always an A, even if the dress is like a size 20. And my fitter was saying to me, like, it would be very rare that they would be a cup size A. So it is very difficult when you're trying on the samples because often you're not, you know, your boobs aren't going to look how you expect them to look. And you know, I maybe could have ended up picking one of the other dresses if I had felt like my boobs were a bit more like how they would actually look on the day. So that is quite hard and something that you sort of have to try and push past, and hopefully you'll have a fitter like I did who could try and help me see this isn't necessarily what they're going to look like. But yeah, that's just something else to note that I didn't know. And you typically don't wear a bra with a wedding dress. Some of you are going to be like, that's obvious, and it's kind of obvious but kind of not, because a lot of stuff online is about buying wedding lingerie and things, so you actually typically don't wear a bra with a wedding dress, and so you need to be in something that you feel secure in, and that's something important to me anyway. I don't wear a lot of tight fitting clothes. I don't really show off my boobs that often. They're, you know, kind of something I have some issues with, and so to wear something that would be like super revealing was something that I was kind of against. And I was quite surprised actually at how many wedding dresses, even on me, would like be quite low cut. So something else to think about, and hopefully that's everything I wanted to say. Anyway, that was a very long ramble, and I don't know if it was remotely interesting, but hopefully it was. So I'm going to carry on. I'm going to draw a line under this now. I'm going to carry on putting away the rest of my washing, which I'm getting there, but I don't have enough hangers, which means I have too many clothes again. So I maybe need to try and look at that, and I will then check in with you later on today to let you know what else I get up to. So just a bit of an update for you. I finished putting the clothes away and then decided to just reorganize my whole wardrobe because who needs to rest? So I've moved my gym stuff, was over there. I've moved that to here because basically these wardrobes used to be behind me, and so when we moved them, we didn't flip them, and actually because the sofa is there, I basically just don't need a barrier between me and my gym wear, you know? So I moved the gym wear here because it's a bit easy to access, and so I just need to figure out what's going to go where now, because at the moment this is my like non-work dresses and playsuits. I often wear the playsuits to work, to be honest. Work dresses, tops, cardigans, that kind of thing, and then this would be jumpers. But I need to figure out whether that makes logistical sense. So that's what I'm doing. I'll update you when I'm done. I'm done. So this one here is like my everyday and kind of some of my dressy up dresses, but a lot of them are in a cupboard that we have. This is still work dresses. This is now cardigans and jumpers. I put really warm jumpers away, but I've kept out some jumpers because also I wear jumpers a lot, and it is only April. Got here workout stuff. Drawers are obviously the same, and then over there I've got tops, skirts, trousers. So yeah, hopefully that will be a bit more usable. I was kind of hoping I would get rid of a ton of clothes. I got rid of 2 pairs of trousers. That was it. I wasn't like massively going through them and being really brutal with myself, but it probably would have been good if I had been. And now I need to go and rest, I think. The overthinking is just massively getting to me. I like can't function on anything else, and I hate this part of my personality. So I'm going to try and force myself to go and read. I've got such a bad migraine. So I've come downstairs, go me, but I have some books I wanted to just show you quickly before I spend some relaxed time and start reading. So it was recently the Waterstones, like at Easter they did a double points thing, and there were a few things that I wanted, so I decided to pick those up. So and then I think one of them I'd ordered before that, which is a bit annoying, but anyway. So the first thing I picked up is the second book in the Teen Titans graphic novel series by Cami Garcia and Gabrielle Piccolo. The first one, Raven, I absolutely loved it. I read it maybe a week ago, gave it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. The artwork is absolutely gorgeous. I love the story, and I had the third one which I got in the Battersea Power Station bookstore, but I didn't own number 2, so obviously couldn't go straight to that. So I wanted to haul this because the chances of me reading this very soon are pretty high. So yeah, I picked up Beast Boy, and then I also realized that the 4th one is out in the series, which is Robin, so I had to pick this up as well. This one is thicker than the first 2. Okay, interesting. So I don't really know obviously whether I will love the entire series, so it's maybe a bit preemptive to buy the 4th one, but the ice cream van is always there while I'm filming anyway. But I thought I would pick it up because I enjoyed the first one so much. I think the chances are I'm gonna enjoy the whole series. And then I also picked up the Sad Ghost Club Volume 3 by Liz Meddings. I own the first 2. I haven't read them, but I know I'm going to enjoy these. They have really good anxiety rep, so it's just waiting for the right time to read them. This one got so damaged though in the order from Waterstones. I don't know how well you can see, but it's like the corner is damaged and the pages are damaged and the top is ripped. In fact, I knew the top was ripped and I thought I could get over that, but the bottom part is really bad as well. So I don't know if I should send this back, but with Waterstones, when you return things, in fact I think I shredded the receipt, so I doubt I can do that, but when you buy something from Waterstones and then you want to send it back, you just send it back free post and there's no like record that you sent it or anything. So I'm not sure, and I have sent something back at the moment. I'm waiting for them to resend me, I think Our Son is Gay Volume 3, I think, but I then kind of in my head picture an email from them saying it's being sent, but I don't know if I dreamt that because I have very realistic dreams, so I need to check that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I shredded the receipts for these yesterday, so I doubt I can return it. Maybe I could print off the email because this is actually really bad, and I've also got rid of the packaging this morning. But yeah, okay, leave that with me, let me think on it. But then the other book that I picked up is A Curious Beginning, which is the first in the Veronica Speedwell series. Hannah's recent reads, who I really like on BookTube, she absolutely loves this series. She talks about it all the time, and I thought I would pick up the first one because I am really interested in the story. So I realised I haven't really told you what the others are about. The first two are about the Teen Titans and the third one is about anxiety rep. So this one is, I think it's like a mystery, and Veronica is a lepidopterist, is that what they're called? Yeah, I think it's a mystery. It looks like a mystery. So really excited to see what I think of that, and I absolutely love the covers of these. So cute. So yeah, we'll see. So that was just my mini book haul for you, and I will weigh up what I'm going to do about Sad Ghost Club, and then I will probably show some b-roll of me reading, and hopefully I'm going to rest for the rest of the day. It is now 10:44. I'm not really sure how good this has been as a day in the life vlog, to be honest, because all I really did was talk to you about Wedding Dress while putting laundry away and read a bit. But anyway, so let me tell you about the 3 books I read today, because I did actually read. Sorry, we're at a kind of interesting, we're at an interesting angle while I film this. I did actually read, which is very exciting, because it's been really difficult to read. I've got this bit of hair that just doesn't want to play ball. But yeah, I did actually read, which is good. The anxiety has been very present today, but let's tell you about the books. So first up we have Check Please. So I finished this. I had, I don't know, probably 50 pages or something left in this. So this is it's been a very graphic novel day. Couldn't handle more than a graphic novel. But this is following Bitty, who moves to Sandwell University on a hockey scholarship, but he's kind of brought on it based on more figure skating than actual hockey. But he joins the team, and it's told through a kind of vlog style. So each chapter is him updating his followers via a kind of vlog. It's a really interesting idea, and it does kind of work but also kind of doesn't, in that what I can tell from reviews, it's been taken from a webcomic, and I think there's maybe more information in the webcomic, but at least that's what some people are saying. And there are times where you feel like there's kind of gaps in what happens. So it spans like 2 years, I think, of Bitty being at university in this edition. You feel like as you go through, you're flying through his university experience, and sometimes it feels like they're talking about in-jokes that you don't really know about. And then the actual graphic novel, I guess, finishes at kind of around here. So you have, like, I don't want to kind of show you in the spoilers, but you have a big chunk of the book that's left. And I was like, what do we still have? And then you get some side characters basically telling you a lot of hockey terms, which would have been useful to know during the book, because it really assumes a knowledge of hockey, and hockey is not a big deal over here in the UK, so I don't have a knowledge of hockey. And then you get a load of tweets from the main character where he's filling in action that happens sometimes in the book, but also between the book as well. And I do think that would have really helped, because it's presented in the like flap part of the front cover that it's a love story between Bitty and Jack, and it isn't. It's predominantly about Bitty being like adjusting to hockey, and so I think I would have felt more about Bitty and Jack's relationship had I had more of those tweets and stuff interspersed in between. I think it wouldn't have had so many gaps. Also, Bitty is a baker and we get no baking recipes. Why were there no baking recipes? It's very similar to Bloom, if you've read that. So the reason that I picked this up is that people recommended it as being similar to Heartstopper. Definitely see that. And I did enjoy it very much. I still gave it 4 stars. But Bloom is another graphic novel recommended if you like Heartstopper, and in that there are recipes because that's about baking as well. So I just expected there to be some actual baking recipes. Not that I guess I would have necessarily baked the pies, but I would have liked the option, you know? So yeah, I gave it 4 stars. The art is stunning. I really, really like it. And with some graphic novels, you get really detailed panels and some panels that are not as detailed, and we'll talk about that in a second. But in this one, you don't really get that. I feel like all the panels are super detailed. The art is just stunning. And yeah, so very excited to see what happens in the second part. The second book is arriving tomorrow, so hopefully I'll get to that pretty soon. And then I read volumes 4 and 5 of Fence, finally. If you've watched any of my book videos before, I've had volume 4 on my TBR for the longest time. I read the first 3 in quite quick succession, but there are some novels as well, and I didn't really know where they fell in the series, but they're by a different author, so I actually think they are kind of just companion. And now, having read the 5th one, I don't think it would matter where I read the novel. Obviously, once I read the novel, I can maybe say that more clearly, but it probably doesn't matter because I thought we were getting a finish of the series in volume 5, or we're not. not a ton moved on in the story in these 2 volumes, and they are very thin. So that is just something to be aware of. Like, if you pick these up, they are, obviously being a graphic novel, they're a little bit more expensive, and you're here for a slow burn story. But basically, this series again was recommended for fans of Heartstopper, and again I would recommend it if you're a fan of Heartstopper. So these are about basically a group of students who are trying to become professional fencers. Like, that really is what it's about. And we meet a different cast of characters. So I would say Nicholas is probably the main character, but this is his like main rival, who I don't know how you pronounce his name. Saiji? I'm not 100% sure. But we've got like other characters who you meet as well. And then in volume 5, we got introduced to some other schools because they were sort of doing some competitions. So we did meet a school in this one as well for a competition, and then we got even more schools in this competition, and that's really fun. It brings in different characters and different dynamic. And the Nicholas and Saiji story moved along a bit in this. There were some reviews that were like super critical of volume 5, and that it was saying that it's like nothing really happens, and it doesn't, but you learn a lot about Fence. And I really, really like the artwork of these books. I mean, look at the covers, it's stunning. My only criticism is that in volume 5 in particular, this art, and it's always done it through all the series, so it is consistent in all of the volumes, so it is consistent, but it has some really detailed panels, and then it has some kind of like chibi style panels, and in volume 5 it was very chibi heavy, and so that was just a bit of a downside because I don't particularly like the chibi art style. I would much rather a fully detailed art style the whole time, so which I mean I can't draw, so who on earth am I to say that, but that is my preference. So yeah, that was the only downside, but really excited to read some more, though there is no like next volume listed on Goodreads, so I don't know how long we're going to be waiting for more. So I probably will pick up the novel just to spend a bit more time with these characters, get a bit of backstory, although somebody said they didn't feel the novel like fit in with the graphic novels, so I don't know, we'll see. But I love these characters. I would really recommend this series. I just don't like the fact that I don't really know what's coming next. And yeah, that was really how I spent my day. Stuart very kindly cooked dinner again because yeah, my anxiety was just still quite bad, and I had like finally started reading by then. I did reading sprints, so the PM reader page and Serena, I don't know Serena's, it's got Riot in it, Reading Riot possibly, but I'm in their Discord and they did some reading sprints today, so I joined those for about an hour, and that was nice to sort of get some reading done. But yeah, I haven't done a ton else other than do a lot of scrolling on my phone and a lot of feeling really anxious. So yeah, not my best overall day. A big thank you to my friend Emma, who's done a lot of like talking to me about stuff related to the dress today, and I think I am feeling a bit better. But tomorrow, me and my mum are going to an afternoon tea. It's a Beauty and the Beast afternoon tea at the Homage restaurant at the Waldorf. That might be wrong, but yeah, we're going to do that, which is really exciting because I really wanted to do it. So I bought it for my mum for Mother's Day. So yeah, we're going to go and do that. So I've only got to do a half day tomorrow, admittedly with a ton of work in it, but I do only need to do a half day. So that should be good. And yeah, we're really nice to do the afternoon tea. Therapy last Friday, and it was quite a difficult session. I did a lot of crying, but we are setting me on a sort of more structured week from this week. So I'm going to be like, I have to stop being on my phone at 9 and I have to go to bed and like with no more phone, and I have to try and like solidly try and do that for, I mean, I haven't got an appointment with her now for a couple of weeks, so for a couple of weeks I need to try and do it, which I think is going to be hard, but I do really need to try because I have noticed it's got worse. But I had to write a mood diary for her last week and she was like, there's an awful lot of scrolling on your phone here, and it's gotten a lot worse. There's sometimes where I'm really good about it, sometimes when I'm not. Right now I'm really not, and today was just like any time I couldn't concentrate I just went on my phone. Hopefully we're going to get a bit of stability in my week from this week, but we will see. And I don't really know if I plan to vlog it or not. I'm kind of a bit on the fence about vlogging at the moment. Vlogs are a lot of work to film and edit, and compared to other videos on my channel, aren't performing as well, which is completely fair enough. Like, and it's all, everything I'm doing on my channel right now is a test, and some videos have performed way better than I expected, which is amazing. But yeah, vlogs are probably performing the worst collectively of, well, other than some of my reading videos, but that's to be expected. But yeah, vlogs are probably not performing as well as I expected, so I need to sort of have a think about it, because doing a full week vlog is a lot. And so these kind of shorter vlogs are things I'm sort of thinking I can maybe throw in now and then. So yeah, I don't know, let me know in the comments what you think. I was going to say what you think of this style of vlog, but I appreciate you probably would have liked a bit more every day rather than me just chatting about a dress for a lot of it, because can this be called a vlog? I don't know, but I will probably post it anyway. If you're seeing this, I did go ahead and post it. But yeah, let me know what sort of thing you want to see in the comments down below, because it'd be really helpful just to get an idea of kind of what you do and don't like to see in vlogs and stuff like that, and what parts of my life are interesting and what are not so interesting. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and if you did enjoy this video, I would really appreciate a like, and if you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe. In the description I'll have links to my Instagram and Goodreads, and I'll try and remember to tag the sort of various accounts I've mentioned through this video as well, so that you can check those out. Otherwise, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.